ground?
Yeah.
Why?
Because when I fall, zombies might attack.
What for?
Zombies!
For zombies. I see. Okay.
When zombies attack me.
You're not supposed to yell at Mama. Mama just did not hear you. Why do you have to yell like that?
And I also hit a post. Yeah,
Get in.
this one is so bad. Really last time.
What should I remember? Are you asking me to remember something?
Yeah.
Which one?
The post here. The post here. Monster.
The
The
poster monster?
yeah, the post monster.
Don't play with that. That
The
is
ninja.
Ninong's.
And then they killed all the ninjas. And
They killed
died.
all the ninjas. Is that right? Ninja.
And they died.
The ninjas died. I
Yeah.
see. That's too bad.
And now
Don't play with that. That's my water tube. Where is
I'm
Jackson?
making a museum, Mama.
You're making a museum?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you want the post-it go away, you just need to go up.
You just need to
You just need to go up.
go up. Okay. Go up where?
Go up to the surface.
Go up to the
Go up to the surface.
the surface. I see. You go sit now.
Look, I gotta make a shop.
I don't have a call, so you have to keep quiet, okay? Is that okay? Thank you. Really keep quiet. Hi, Jackson. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Oh. Hello? Are you sleepy? No. You sound like you are. You sound like you're sleepy and, I don't know, tired. And I'm not sure. Yes, you're tired. Oh, you're tired. Why? What made you tired? Your part-time job? I see. Okay. How long have you already worked for today? What time did you start working? I started. You started 5 o'clock. Oh, I see. Wow. That is, yes, Philippine time. That is, how do I say, 4 o'clock in the morning. So you started at 5 o'clock. Oh, I see. Okay, and then you finished at, you're taking a break, right? You're taking a break right now. So yeah, this break is until 5 o'clock. Is that right? Okay. So what time did you start your break? 12 o'clock or 1? What time did you start your break? What time? What time did you go on a break? 2. Oh, I see. Okay. So you worked from 1 to 2. Sorry, so from 4 to 2 o'clock. Is that right? Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot of working. A lot of people in your father's store today? I see. That's why. That's why you have to work a lot because you have a lot of people. You have a lot of customers. Yes, somehow. Okay, anyhow, are you ready? You're ready? You're ready to read? Okay, so let's go for a reading. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen to you. Wait a sec. Where is it? Where is my screen? Okay. And okay. Here it goes. Share. Get it? You see that? You see? Jackson?
Run away.
Oh, he got he's lost. Stop pressing.
I don't see that it's coming.
Jackson?
I did a big one. Oh, mama.
Kapatid, good afternoon. Maraming salamat po. Wait a sec. I am actually on the call kaso nagkaroon ng problema ang aking student. So, he got out. I'm waiting. Early live po ako today kasi maybe in the afternoon we're going to drive to the city. Meaning, pupunta kami ng Taguig. So, yeah, that's why I have an early live. Good afternoon, kapatid. Maraming salamat. Oh, what happened? So, what happened? Isinat ka na ka rin? Nag-lunch ka na? Nag-lunch na po ba kayo? Have you had lunch? Okay. Jackson? Hello? Hi. Oh, you're using your phone. I see. Okay. It will be hard to read, correct? I mean, like, it will be hard to read because yeah, the letters would be very small. But are you okay? Will you be fine? Okay, sure. Okay. Then we have to continue. Okay, I just want you to read the title first, please. Okay. Do you read? Do you still read or do you just use your phone? Just the phone, right? Yes. But was there a time, was there a time when your mom or your dad required you to, for example, read 3 books in a month or in a week? I mean to say, I know from, yes, my Korean students before that their moms or their dads, their parents in general, would make them read like, let's say, 3 or 5 books in a month. Did you experience that too? Mm-hmm. Like you have to, yeah, you have to, how to say, you have to choose five or four books, 4 or 5 books, and then you're going to read that in the entire month, and then you get, for example, 3,001 if you finish reading, right? That kind of prize. Yeah, I'm not sure if you, yes, I'm not sure if you also experienced that, but some of my students before they did, they experienced having something like that. Okay, but anyhow, let us proceed. Okay, you please read the title. Sorry, the vocabulary. Let's have number one, muscle. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, it's a tissue that is used to move part of the body. Okay, I suppose you're very familiar with what muscles are. Yeah. Okay, let's go with the sentence. Okay, there are over 600 muscles in the human body. That is the reason we can stand. That is the reason we can walk. That's the reason we can move. Okay, because our bones, yes, somehow, yes, together with the muscles, yes, allow us to do so. Okay, let's go with the next word. Okay, stretched. We just say stretched, not stretch it. Okay, so the state of having, okay, the muscles stretched tight. Okay, and our sentence, please. Okay, that is, I think, the dog post. Yes, yes, somehow. And yes, it's very freeing. Actually, it's a good one. Okay, next word, calm. Okay, meaning. Okay, to be calm or make less angry, upset, or excited. Okay, our sentence, please. Okay, and understandable. Okay, that is, yes, it could, yes, this word calm, okay, can actually be used to, yes, refer to people's emotions. You have to calm down, or it could also be, yes, used to describe events like the calm after the storm. Yes, those kinds of that, these kinds of, or before the storm. Yeah, those kinds of terms. Okay, let's go with the next word, please. Device. Okay, that is. Okay, that's it. That's a device. Okay, right now we're talking. Okay, it's possible for us both because we are both using a device. Yeah, you're using your iPad earlier. Now your phone. Okay, I'm using my laptop right now. Okay, let's read the sentence, please.
Four.
Okay, sure. Okay, that is the usual reminder. Yes, when you are taking an airplane, yes, going anywhere or somewhere. Yes, you are supposed to turn off electronic devices, okay, before the takeoff because it could jam or it could, mess up. Yes, their signal. Okay, let's go with the next one. Okay, emit. Okay, that is emit. Okay. Okay, that's it. Okay, that is to emit, to send out. Okay, to emit, okay, it's coming from the inside out. Okay, it could be air, it could be light, it could be heat, it could be gas, it could be anything. Okay, but anyhow, it is coming from the inside out. Our sentence. Okay, great. Okay. So that's it. Okay, China emits more greenhouse gases than any other country in the world. Okay, that's the reason China has a very serious, how to say, plan for, yes, yes, carbon reduction. Yeah, CO2 reduction. But I'm not sure if that is something that they're really serious on working, yes, somehow. If they're serious working on with that too. Okay, let's go with the last word. Okay, hormone. Okay, so this is a chemical. We say chemical, a chemical produced. Okay, this CED is just pronounced as C. So a chemical produced in a living thing that affects growth, behavior, etc. That's hormones. We all have hormones. Okay, all living things would have hormones. I suppose. Okay, let's go with the sentence, please. Yeah, the sentence melatonin. Okay, that's it. Okay, which is why a lot of people who do not, or who cannot, fall asleep, they would take a melatonin pill, right? Yeah, somehow it because that one, that pill regulates or helps regulate sleep and wake cycles. Okay, let's go with the words are okay. You've got any questions with the words? They're all okay. Okay, let us now proceed with the reading. Yes, please start with the title once again. Okay, how reading before bed can help you sleep. Okay, go on. Okay, so this is just a suggestion. Okay, if you're trying, okay, or if you're having a hard time falling asleep at night, okay, one of the things that you can do is to pick up a book, okay, and start reading it. Okay, because according to some research, okay, those people who would read before bedtime, they would fall asleep faster, longer, and better. It's amazing. Okay, let's go with the next one. Uh-huh. Okay, so yeah, this how to say, in this research, okay, they have 500 participants, right? And yes, and they were asked to read a book, okay, 15 to 30 minutes before trying to sleep. Okay, also they were not allowed to drink they were not allowed to, yes, drink any caffeinated drink. So no coffee, no tea. Okay, that is 1 hour before bedtime. So there are actually two groups. Okay, the first ones, that were reading, and the second ones will be those that were not supposed to read. Okay, let's go. After 1 week.
Help me.
Okay, that's it. Okay, so 42%, okay, they slept better. Okay, while the 28% said, while only 28% of the non-readers did. Okay, so the 42% came from those people who read, right? While the 28%, who were able to fall asleep better, okay, came from the non-readers. Okay, that's almost half. Let's go with the next one. Uh-huh. So that's the reason. When you lie on your bed, okay, and you're reading a book, your heart would slow down. Okay? Also, your muscles would let go of the tension. That means to say you're in a very relaxed mode, right? You're in a very relaxed condition while you're lying in bed reading a book. So that is the reason you can fall asleep, yes, faster and better. Okay, let's go. Continue, please. Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay, you are familiar with the blue light that they say, right? Though yes, that light actually, the blue light comes from yes, any electronic gadgets that we use, our computers, our phones, that would yes, somehow interfere with our sleep. Okay, negatively impact our sleep. Okay, let's go with the last paragraph. Second to the last paragraph. So, okay, that's it. Okay, so for the best sleep, try reading and choose paper. That means to say you cannot be reading. Okay, if you're trying to fall asleep, you cannot be reading a book from your iPad, or you cannot be right. You cannot be reading using your phones. I mean to say, because this time around, oh yes, we can have like an e-library, right? So you have like downloaded books, yes, PDF books, yes, somehow. Yes, but that will not help you because any, just like what I said earlier, any electronic gadgets may actually emit a blue light. And blue light will not help you sleep. Okay, I think that is understood. Let us proceed with the questions. Number one. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, let's go with the next. Mm-hmm. Was it 42? 40. Okay, 42, not 48. Okay, 42. And the other one was 40, 28. Yeah? Okay. Let's go with number three. Okay, does reading an e-book, okay, before bed have a positive effect on sleep? This is an ebook, how to say, Jackson. So just like what I said earlier, an ebook is something that you can access from your phones, your iPad, your computer. Okay, and those gadgets would emit blue light, and blue light would interfere with your sleep, right? So I think that means to say that reading an ebook, okay, will not really have a positive impact on your sleep, right? Instead, it's a negative one. It may not actually allow you to sleep early. It may not allow you to sleep better or even longer. Okay? Okay, let's go with the next one. Discussion number four, exercise. Okay, discussion. Let's go with question number one. Come on, get on up. We're wild and we can't be tamed. Okay. No, you don't. No, I don't. Uh-huh. So you don't read before bed. Okay, that's yes. Instead, you scroll on your phone. Yeah, that's what yeah, that is what we usually do these days. Yeah, we don't read anymore. We just scroll on our phones. Okay, let us go with question number two. Okay. Have you ever experienced that? You're a student too, so I suppose you would, whether you like it or not, you'd read anyway. So, have you ever had that kind of experience that you've fallen asleep while reading? No. So, yes, does it mean to say that you're always awake when you read, or it's just that you just never read at all? Which is, yeah, there? The first one or the second one? where are you saying, to which point, yes, are you saying yes? To the first one or the second one? Ah, I know I was saying, okay, you said like, have you ever, the question is, have you ever fallen asleep while reading? You said no, right? Yes, so I was asking you, does it mean to say that you were always awake when you're reading? Or the second one is, you'd never read at all? You never tried reading at all? You never read, yes, you've never read books before sleeping. Okay, let's go with number three. Okay, how do you like to calm your mind at the end of the day since you don't read books? Uh-huh. What's your, you listen to music. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, we listen to music, or what else do we do? We listen to music, or we get into the shower, right? Or yes, we just lie in bed anyhow. Yes, for yes, without any intention of sleeping, you just lie in bed, you spread your body, yes, across the bed, yes, somehow, or on the bed, and you just relax, you just calm your mind. That is another way. Okay, let's go with number four. Hmm. Do you try to avoid screens before bed? That means you don't use your phone, you don't watch TV. Sorry, you don't avoid. Okay, so meaning to say you always are on the screen, right? Yeah, you're always using your phones or whatever, yes, before bedtime. Okay, I would like to ask you this kind of question, Jackson. Have you ever experienced, yes, somehow holding your phone because you were still watching something, and then you have fallen asleep and your phone dropped on the floor? Have you had that kind of experience? Right. I think often that is our experience, right? Not reading a book, but actually falling asleep while using our phones or browsing on the internet, right? That's the usual experience we have. Okay, let's go with number five. Mm-hmm. Listening to music. Okay, that is your habit. Yes, yes, somehow, or that is part of your routine. Listening to music, yes, is part of your routine. Okay, got it. Let's go for further discussion. Question number one. Question number one. Yes. Please read. Please read. Uh-huh. Hmm. We say, do you prefer? Like, mhm. I prefer. Okay, good. Okay, you prefer paper books. Okay, right. Okay, that's good. Yes, I do. Yes, I do get that too. Yes, and I love it as well. Okay, let's go with number two. Mm-hmm. Okay, because you're not, you're not fond of reading. Okay, can you just tell me any title of the book that you remember reading? What's that? Sorry. Hanguk Chul. Ah, Chinese. Yes. So you like Chinese history books. Okay. May I know why Chinese? Okay, it's just for fun. Okay, got it. Okay, let's go with number three. Question number three. Hmm. No, you don't. Uh-huh. You cannot finish any book that you've started, or you have not finished any book you've started reading. Yeah. Okay. That is also understood. Okay, because sometimes we just we do that out of curiosity. We pick up a book because we're curious about it. Yes, but actually we don't really finish it because yes, it got boring in the middle, or yes, or we're just not as interested as we should be. Yes. Okay, let's go with number 4. Mhm. You're a fast reader. Okay, so why can you not finish a book? Okay, I understand. We go to the last one. Mhm. Are your parents big readers? Do they read a lot? Your school teachers. Yes, right. Yes, I think so too. Well, they read for the job, right? They really have to. Yes, somehow. Yes, as they say, yes, when you're a teacher, you're supposed to be steps ahead of your students. And you can do that only when you keep studying or you keep reading. Yes. Okay. I think that's it. Okay, we will have to read another one since we still have a lot of time. You can see the screen right now, yeah? Okay. Which do you think should we read? This one. Toyota was world's top selling automaker in 20. Wow. They are. Okay. Or would you want this one? Creative worker losing money to AI according to survey. What would you like to read? Or would you want this one? 900 of Japan's restaurants went bankrupt in 2025. You decide. You pick. Which one? One, two, or three? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, it's kind of related to your business, your father's business, yeah? Yes, restaurants, food, okay, yes, they're all related. Okay, so that is 900 of Japan's restaurants went bankrupt, okay, in 2025. That is too bad. Let's go with the vocabularies first. Let's go. Oh, you are familiar with the word bankrupt, right? We've met that word before. Okay, let's read. Hmm. That's okay. So in the US, that's right. That's okay. We just say that's. We don't read a B there. Okay. So in the US, there is this kind of thing. Okay. I think even in South Korea, and I think even in my country, okay, when a person is unable, a person, a company, okay, an organization, when they are unable to pay their debts, okay, they can declare themselves bankrupt. Okay, that is to legally declare themselves bankrupt. Okay, let's go with the sentence. Okay, that is after 178 years in business. That's a lot. Okay, almost 2 centuries, yeah, already. But UK travel company Thomas Cook, okay, went bankrupt in 2019. That means they had to close that down. They had to close the business down. Okay, let's go with the next word. Cope. Okay, the word is cope. Okay, let's go. The meaning is yes. Please read the word, the meaning of the word cope. Are you? Oh, it's okay. It's all right. Yes, I know. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I think you're feeling so sleepy this time. Yes, I have. Ah, your head is that okay. Okay, it's fine. You feel like you're drunk? Oh, really? You just feel like you're drunk? Ah, the medicine was very strong. I know that. Yeah, some Korean medicines are very strong. I used to have Pyeongdutong before. You know Pyeongdutong, right? Yes, it's migraine in English. In English, it's migraine, and yes, in your country, it's Pyeongdutong. And before, I was talking to a doctor. I talked to a doctor. He was old. He's old. Yeah, during that time, he was 82, 83 years old. but he owns a hospital in South Korea. So yes, I always tell him that I have headache, things like this. So he sent me a medicine. He sent me some medicine from South Korea. The name of the medicine was Myadrin. Yeah, that's the name of the medicine. It was for Pyeongdutong medicine. Yeah, and it was very strong. It was very strong. Whenever I take that medicine, I don't feel my head. you know it's like my head is numb. My head is not there. My head was very, very light. But actually I think that cured my migraine a little bit. Right now I don't have migraine every day, unlike before. Like I would have Pyeongdutong every day, but now I don't have that Pyeongdutong anymore, at least not every day. But I heard that medicine, because it was very strong, maybe it is now gone in Korean market. That means to say Korean pharmaceutical companies do not produce that medicine anymore. Yes, they stopped. They stopped producing that medicine, but it was very strong. So I understand that kind of feeling that you're having right now. It feels like your head is gone. You're a zombie. Yeah. I'm not sure if you're feeling like a zombie right now. Okay, but anyhow, the word is ko. Okay, and the meaning is. Mhm. Can we read the meaning? Mhm. That's right. You have to cope with the kind of feeling you're having right now. Okay, you have to handle it. Yes, I know it's a difficult feeling. Okay, let's go with the sentence. Okay, he's having trouble coping. Okay, with work stress. Okay, let's go with the next one.
No. No.
Okay, labor. Okay, that is. Political group. Okay, that's right. Okay, so that is workers considered together. Okay, as a social or political group. We are part of the labor group. Okay, me and you, because you're already how to say, you're already working too. Even as a part timer, you're already considered a worker. Okay, so you are included in this labor group, or you're included in this how to say, labor resources of your country. Okay, let's go with the sentence, please. Okay, good. Okay, that is also your country's plan this time, right? Since yes, South Korea is losing a lot of people. Yeah, I mean to say you don't have a lot of people your population is declining. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so you're trying to introduce, yeah, somehow visa rules so you can let other people from other countries come in and work legally in your country. Okay, yes, you understand. Good. Okay, let's go with the next word. Shortage. Okay.
5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. That is yeah, you've met this word before, yeah. Okay, and let's read with I mean let's go with the sentence. You are supposed to read demand. Mhm. I think you're supposed to read demand already. No. Okay, let's go with yes. Let's go with the sentence of shortage. Go. Uh, yeah, new visa rules have been that is done, right? Yes, that's right. So we are going to go for the next word, demand. Yes, that is labor. Yes, right. Yes. But it's okay. Yes, you've read this sentence. Okay, it's the same. Just like what you said, the same sentence. Okay, let's go with the next word, demand. Okay, sure. Okay, a need for something to be solved. Okay, sold, supplied or done, etc. Okay, that's demand. Okay, the want. Okay, the demand is the want of the people. Okay, let's go with the sentence. Oh, that's good. Okay, So the demand for my handbags, handmade bags is huge. Okay, let's go with the last word. Mhm. Okay, that's ingredients. Okay, so for kimchi, for to make kimchi, you have a different ingredients somehow needed. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, let us proceed, please, with the next one. Okay, yes. For example, making a pancake, you get to mix, okay, the wet and the dry ingredients in two separate bowls. Okay, that is the instruction. Okay, are we ready to read, Jackson? Okay, let's go read. Okay.
A hearing bird sounds that you rarely hear. The first is the shoebill or shoebill stork. A bird whose call sounds like
Take
gunfire.
cuckoo. Okay, data bank. Okay, data bank.
The second
Okay.
is the kiwi.
Let's go with, so that is 900. Okay, this is according to surveys. Okay, let's go with the next paragraph.
Third is the loon or diver, whose sound is similar to a wolf howling in the middle of the forest. Lastly, the lyrebird, whose call mimics the sound of a cannon.
Okay, so yes, previous year that would be less than 900. Okay, this time around it's more than 900. It's 900. Okay, so yeah, that's too bad. And that is okay, already around 108,000. Okay, sorry, 1,800 restaurants since 2024. That's a lot already. Okay, let's go, please.
I was gonna say, it's actually slime. Call an ambulance. Do not eat that. Why not? It's a lot smaller than you think.
Okay, that's too bad. This is the thing, Jackson. This is going to be your story as well. I mean, South Korea's story when time comes, because your population is declining. Your labor force, okay, will also decline. And if that is yes, and if that happens, you will have to import now. Okay, you're going to import people. That means to say you're going to hire workers from outside your country. Okay, and yes, and when you do that, you get to pay them more. Okay, because yes, they are most probably you're going to pay them more. You're going to provide more benefits, incentives, and the likes. That means to say the cost of labor is going to be very high. The price of the products would be very high too. Okay, and people won't be able to afford that. Okay, not a lot of people would be able to afford that. So the profit is going to go down, and most business would actually close instead. Okay, most businesses will close instead of yes, somehow making their ends meet. Okay, remember that when someone puts up a business, someone meant to earn a profit. Yeah, I put up a business because I wanted to earn a profit, right? Not just to provide service. Of course I wanted to provide service, but also on top of that I wanted to earn something. All right. Okay, let's go with the next one.
I'm back. What have you been up to? Nothing. I've been so bored on my phone all day. All right. Here we
Mm-hmm.
go. Thank you. Too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Plants. This wasn't your snow. Yeah, but that's not
Okay, good. Okay, with 204 closing. Okay, so that is how to say. Uh, I think it's yeah, a much smaller number, right? Than the one mentioned 900. Okay, let's go with the next one. Okay, ramen restaurants. Okay, so that's a good thing. Just like South Koreans, I think, how to say, Japanese people, they love ramen restaurants, right? Yes, and yes, I think ramen is not, ramen is already like a delicious food, but not going to be very expensive. Am I correct? Yes, okay, so I think that's why. Okay, let's go with the next one, please. You okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, good. Okay. Jackson, we're going to end this call after reading this paragraph. Okay? So you can take a rest because you're still gonna go to your part-time job. Okay? We'll just be short like 5 minutes, but I think it's fine. You can sleep. Okay? Before it gets 5 o'clock again. Okay. Can we just read that? Yeah, we just finished that paragraph. Record-breaking tourists. Yeah. Okay. No. It's fine. Okay, let us read this article again tomorrow, if that is okay with you. Is that okay? Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm letting you go. Thank you so much. You get better. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Hi, it's happening. Thank you very much. Yes, I already connected to you using my other account. Yes, I'm gonna get back to that later and then connect on my main channel to you. Thank you very much. Sis Maong, Sis Kunyang, maraming salamat po. Thank you very much. Sis Sally, maraming salamat. Sis Cathy, maraming salamat. Sis Els, Kapatid Channel, thank you. Thank you for being there. Sis Rina, thank you very much. Mama Ai, thank you. Mama, i-play kita na. I-play na kita. Dipolog ng vlogger, nag-play na po ako sa'yo. Thank you very much. While I was having the call, I already played. And si Sis Els, thank you Sis Els, hindi pa ako nag-play. Brother, maraming salamat. Thank you po. Thank you so much. Sis Kunyang, maraming salamat. Di makatambay na sis, nasa labas ako kasama alaga. Okay lang sis Kunyang, maraming salamat po. Thank you very much. Mama! Yes. Nagsasalita ka pala dyan, sis. Yes, sis. Ngayon lang ako nagsalita, sis. Kasi yung estudyante ko may sakit daw siya, may headache daw siya. Para siyang zombie. Para siyang zombie kausap.
Mama, I
Hindi
want Kodai.
Okay. Hindi ko alam kung sino yung nalilito, kung ako ba or siya. Kasi nagdudut-dut din ako habang... That's too bad. Pero hindi ko alam pero sabi niya masakit yung ulo niya. Tsaka tinamaan daw siya ng gamot. Kaya, para siyang zombie. I'm going to go for it, si Jem. Hindi kami nagkaintindihan. So, pero okay naman na yung call ko. Tapos na yun. Kasi 15 minutes yun supposed to be. So, we're good. We're good for 50 minutes. Yeah, right. 48 minutes pa lang pala. Kasi I started when the live started too. 48 minutes lang. Short lang ako ng 2 minutes. Thank you. Ano to? Si Share? you have to eat rice na ha? Mama's gonna fry pork ha? Okay? Mama's gonna fry ulam and then you eat rice or pork, okay? What do you want? Rice or pork or side pork? What do you want? Side pork?
Rice.
Yeah, fried pork with fried pork.
No.
What?
Rice.
Rice and tuna? Tuna, you like tuna?
Yeah.
You like tuna? Yes. Why? Nakaloka na naman.
I thought you said you were sleeping in. Uh-huh. I thought you said you were sleeping in. I didn't sleep in. You said you were sleeping in. Uh-huh. I thought you said you were sleeping in. I was sleeping in the game. Why are you sleeping in so late? So I got chicken. I thought you said you were sleeping in. Uh-huh.
Si Sally, maraming salamat. Thank you po. Thank you very much.
Let me love you. Let me love you.
Oh no! You have to close the door. So windy. So windy. Let me love you. So windy.
tell? What's 7 times 8? 48. Wrong answer. What are you doing? That was the right answer. Yeah, but little bro does the finger thing. 21, 28, 35, 48. No, I'm really. Hey, you okay? Just hungry. Maybe one more?
Love, oh.
One last?
Subo, kaming, stand up.
I'm almost full, just a bit more. Yeah, okay. You've done enough. Let me know. Hey, you okay? Just hungry. Maybe one more? One last? I'm almost full, just a bit more. Yeah, okay. You've done enough.
Let me love you. Si Sally, maraming salamat. Thank you very much, sis. I want to rock, na na na. I want to rock, na na na. Love, oh. Ah, let me love you. Love, Sura is good? Sura is good? That's Suna! Ay, nako. Yeah, that's Suna! Kapatid, maraming salamat. Thank you. Thank you very much. Love, oh. Gabriel, I told you to sit down because we're still eating, love.
The Crystal Rogers case is unlike anything I've ever covered before because it truly affected an entire community. It changed Bardstown forever.
We need everyone's help, everyone, in the Bowden family, in the Woods Allen family, to come together to try and figure out where Crystal is at.
The fact that they're calling me out on a Sunday tells me that there's something that they have found that's unusual about it.
It is quite literally a story years in the making. A missing young mother in a case the world would wait a decade to see how it ends.
As far as I know, she's a well-likable person. I can't let anybody get you to harm her.
The theory was that Angie was somehow involved.
If something has happened to her, it wasn't just something she did.
I was at home. It was July 4th weekend. I was not on call that day. But the detective that was on call on his way to the sheriff's department to assist had a vehicle collision. And so they called me. By the time I'm on my way, they had discovered that her vehicle is abandoned.
Crystal Rogers was a mother of 5, and over 4th of July weekend 2015, suddenly she stopped answering calls. Her daughter was one of the first people who tried getting a hold of her and couldn't, so she contacted Sherry Howard, who was Crystal Rogers' mother, asking if she had heard from her, and Sherry hadn't. And initially, Sherry wasn't too concerned, but it was unlike Crystal to not be in constant contact with her children and her family members.
The mother of Crystal Rogers had files of missing persons. At that point, there was really no evidence of any foul play. It's unusual that they would call it detective on missing persons case. So you must immediately understand that there's something about the case that isn't sitting right with the deputies that are there taking the report.
Yesterday afternoon, at approximately 3 o'clock, the family members came to the sheriff's office to reveal that they believe that Crystal Rogers was missing. Shortly thereafter, another family member found Crystal's car near the 14-mile marker on the Bluegrass Parkway. It raised a bunch of concern because a tire of the vehicle was flat.
The keys are in the ignition. There's a cell phone in that purse in the passenger seat. It's very unusual. No one that I know would leave her keys in the car and her purse in her seat where she's going to abandon her vehicle on the side of the road.
Last person that we know that Crystal was with was her boyfriend or woman, long husband. They had a child together. They lived in Washington, and his name was George House. And I want everyone to know that he's been completely cooperative with our investigation. Just try to assist her in any way that you can.
Crystal's family was devastated. She was their pride and joy. They care for all their children deeply. And with Crystal missing, it was like a part of them left, and that part could never be healed.
It becomes pretty obvious.
Sir, it's too early.
It's not going to be.
Thank you very much, sir. Matulog ka pa.
At that point, you really don't know what.
Sir Alay, maraming salamat. Pero matulog ka pa, sir.
It's a really
It's too early.
dynamic
Nag-early live lang ako kasi mamaya pupunta kami sa Taguig. Magdadrive kami sa Taguig. So,
body.
that's why I had an early live. Pero it's too early in the morning. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Matulog ka pa po.
Nothing pointed to.
Crystal
You have to
is
sleep
a
more.
mother of 5. She had a huge network of family support in Bardstown.
Thank you,
She
sir.
was born and raised in Bardstown, and she had so much family there who cared so deeply for her. She had made a life for herself in Bardstown, and so many people say that she was an exceptional mother. It was like she was born to be that. One thing about Crystal is that relationships always seemed difficult for her. She had been married once before, and unfortunately that didn't work out. And for one reason or the other, she could never find that person who truly loved and respected her for who she was.
Brooks, when he got together with Crystal, she already had 4 children. Brooks's family owns a 200-acre farm in Kentucky, and so they have a lot of property. He's obviously very close to his family members. His family member is actually a police officer in that county.
Investigators have to retrace Crystal's steps over the last few days. And little to go on initially, they start looking for leads.
The car being on the parkway pointed in the direction of E-Town, kind of alluding to the fact that she may have been going somewhere. We were tracking down some leads that her mother had told us about and her kiddos had told us about where they had been that weekend. And that Friday, they said, well, we went to Walmart, so I'm gonna send somebody to Walmart to get video of them at Walmart. Who did she have interactions with when she was at Walmart? Did she talk to anybody? Did she appear to have an argument with anyone? I sent somebody else to go and try to find her estranged husband, whether she said anything that might be of importance to him.
Crystal Rogers' family had deep roots in Morristown. Her mother Sherry and father Tommy Bauer were very well known in the community. In order to really understand how this affected the community, you really have to go back to understand what Bardstown was dealing with at that time. There were already 3 unsolved murders leading up to Crystal's disappearance. But then all of a sudden, a mother of 5 disappears. People were scared. And every day people were out searching.
My focus becomes interviewing the person that lives with her, because by the accounts that we have thus far, he's the last person to see her. He agrees to come in and I conduct an interview that Sunday with him. I knew who he was because he had filed to run for sheriff at the previous election.
It's too
He was
early,
a landlord
very, very early.
And multiple rental properties. One of the obvious questions was, she managed the rental properties. Did anybody have a complaint? Anybody threaten her? Initially, he kind of implied, without as much saying, that he thought maybe she had gone somewhere to cool off.
That conversation that Brooks Houck has with investigators on the night of July 5th, 2015, clearly struck a nerve with lead detective John Snow.
He said essentially that Friday during the day was normal. She dropped 2 of the children off to their father. She'd been to Walmart. He got home before she did. He says that they had been planning all along to go to the farm that evening with Eli. That's their youngest son. So he tells us that they leave their house and they make their way toward the farm. He tells me that they left there somewhere between 11 and midnight. And they went home. He says when they got home, she and Eli stayed up while he went to bed. He said when he got up the next morning, she wasn't there. Eli was in the bed with him. He wasn't there, but he wasn't overly concerned because she had left before when they had been arguing. So naturally, I asked him if they had been arguing, and he said they had not.
This begs the question, why would you offer that she would leave when you would argue if you weren't arguing? This then leads to bringing Brooks Houck in again on July 8th, 2015. This is when things get interesting.
I'll do whatever I can. I will leave the target. I have a pass for the target and get it. I'm willing to talk to whoever. But this to me is really starting to get silly.
I asked Mr. Houck to write out a statement about everything that he does that weekend, particularly that Friday. Give me as much detail as you can.
I'm taking you statement. That's all right. I was trying to what was most I could.
If I'm asking you to write a statement about what you did 3 days ago, and there's a very significant event around that date, I would expect you to be able to write to a pretty good degree what you did that day. And none of what he wrote down really had anything to do with what we were asking him to write a statement about. It was really more about what he does every day.
The neighbor says she got home around 5:15. You guys leave to go to the farm. You get to the farm about 19 minutes after 6. When you got to the farm, do you know if anybody was there other than your mom? I don't know. We can stop up there. We can go straight down there to, we were going there to get the towel.
It's not a toy, ha?
They
It's
got to
gonna
the
fall,
farm,
it's gonna
they saw his
go
mother,
down under
doesn't
na
know how
naman
he
ka.
lives at the farm. He said they didn't talk to her. He tells me that he and Crystal and Eli go walking around, which was kind of odd because it was raining that night. It was pretty wet.
So,
Eat muna. Ah,
taking your walk
After na.
and you're.
After this one, you can make a towel.
Looks like it's about
Master, I'm gonna get the money na.
To me, it seems a little late to be out on the farm with 2.5 year old. It's usually wide open and beautiful room. We need everybody.
Yung subo na lang eh.
Frequency later in the morning, you say you're gonna be very first. She stays up, what's she do? She's just on her phone, playing, I don't know what game that she normally plays a game.
Later investigators would put a hole in that story. We would later find out that her phone had been powered off for a while at that point.
His information that he gives to the police about where he was during and after the incident is contradictory. It is not sequential. He is very much all over the place when he explains what he was doing that weekend.
Saturday morning, you went to the farm, and we had a long year out. Yeah, usually on Saturday, I'm not in any kind of a rush, and you, like, okay. I don't think once there, I don't think supper out there at Peyton's house that night. We had everybody over there at his house, at my mom's brother's house. I think we rode with my mother over there, but I don't know after that.
And it turns out, according to Brooks, you know, the day after she's missing, he's at some sort of 4th of July party with his son. One would think that in this crisis situation, he would not be partying with fireworks and hot dogs. He would instead be looking for his girlfriend.
Did you go anywhere else after you went to mom's house before you went? Not that I can remember. I'm not asking you to recall every detail you like, but, and I realize that it wasn't a big deal for her to be going through you, but, you know, most people can remember, you know, most of the things they did during the day. I don't know if it was,
Ngunit yung subo na lang left.
her mother,
Wait lang.
I met her mother at the gas station somewhere.
Don't put the money here kasi it's gonna fall.
Her
You won't see
mother,
them again.
Sherry, I pulled in there to, in there at that Murphy station. And the sheriff came over to my window and asked me if I had seen Crystal. And when you told her what I had seen her before she did, and she just said, okay, said she was gonna go to the police station. You think it was this, you think you talked to Sherry the same day they reported her missing? You said she said, she said, yeah, the day that he had seen Crystal over talking about breaking it. I mean, obviously, we had fought just like any other at times, the stress was strong. You're coming anything other than that. We loved each other very much, and that right there's the bottom end of it.
And he admitted that they did have, you know, some strains in the relationship, but he said that, you know, he loved her. That's something that people have pointed out before because he said loved in the past tense.
What I've got a big face with now is as good mothers, Crystal's doing. Now Eli is in an atmosphere where I've got all the hope in the world, but now I'm a single parent. It appears to me if something's not done, or she's not gone by saintly, now we're very much with his wife, he's got to go up with that. And I think that's a bunch of bull. It's taken a lot of effort away from the other efforts that could be out there to try to help and bring her back here safely. I can't even go out the side of the road that looking like a murder or something like this wrong. I've been extremely honest with you all. Here I've got a million things going on that I have to get done. And then who's gonna suffer? He is. And it's not right. I'm ready to hire an auctioneer to sell all this stuff so I can be there for his wife, Chris.
And there was the question of, well, why would you sell off your things if you think she's coming back?
Somewhat out of the blue, he goes on this tangent about Crystal's family. He's clearly upset, but it seems to be more about the impact this has on him and their young son Eli than Crystal's disappearance itself.
para sa pamilya. Lahat ibibigay ko. Pero sa stress at healthy lifestyle, di mo ramdam baka may high cholesterol ka na? Drink the Monte Heart Smart with Red Bull. It helps lower cholesterol in as early as 4 weeks. The Monte Heart Smart.
I want the law. She does. I want the law. That's all there is to it. And I can understand the family willing to vent and stress, but these
left the
people
money
don't
there.
believe that is what's going
There.
on.
Oh my God.
You all are too, but it really bothers me because not only have I been a victim, my mind's not even where it should be because I'm trying to protect you like this. I don't care about them dragging my name because I'm going to keep the main focus and emphasis on bringing her back safely and as quickly as possible.
I
Didn't
got
seem
some.
concerned at all at the fact that he was at the sheriff's department talking about the mother of his child being missing.
Hey, Brad.
This is not enough flow.
That we're always continue to find what's
Just
going
fall
on
up.
so that I can move
Mama's
and
gonna drink that water.
and
Give me that water. I need to drink.
myself or things that Crystal.
Then when should I make
I don't believe it at all. I'm not.
bridge?
I've been all along with you.
Then when should I make a
On
bridge?
Saturday morning, and my wife wasn't with me in the bed as normal, which might have
Mama,
been
then
normal.
when should I make a bridge?
Probably the first thing I would do would be call her.
About
He
money?
had reached out to Crystal a couple of times in those first few days where she was missing. His explanation was not very convincing. And so his thought process was that, well, he would rather leave her alone rather than blow it up more. And although that seems like maybe an innocent explanation if somebody isn't answering your calls after a couple of hours and also not there days later, it doesn't explain behavior when your girlfriend is literally missing out of nowhere.
So the phones wouldn't really give us much on the end of where there's a picture of their relationship. There would be a few text messages. Certainly it did not appear that they had been fighting that night. For me, the biggest thing that is absent in the phones is the plan to go to the farm. So he says that it was all along the plan to go to the farm. She has been telling people all day that they are going out on a kid-free date night.
Are you familiar with a woman named Christina Hall? Oh, yes, I know you're talking about. There are some text messages between her and Crystal on Friday. She tells her, well, we've got a sitter meeting, it's our first time being kid-free for a while, so we don't want to, we're kid-free, we're going to enjoy ourselves. Well, why would she not?
Fix it.
I don't know, I can't answer that question.
No.
As far as you know, you all did not have plans for a babysitter. No, right, no. The plan was all along for you guys to go to the farm.
She is telling people that this is the first time they've had a date night in a long time and she's really excited about it. He says to us that wasn't true, that she only told them that so that the other children would not be jealous because they were going to spend time with Eli alone. Well, that would make perfect sense, except for she told her best friend that. Who wouldn't care one way or the other. There's some discrepancies between what law enforcement is learning from Brooks versus what they already know from personal family and friends. He is the only one around right now who's able to tell the story of what happened in the last few days. But with text messages, witnessing accounts, something's not adding up. So detectives, they build a timeline. Key to that timeline is self-awareness. One of the things that shows up as odd is a phone call around midnight on Saturday morning. I asked him about this case.
I'm gonna buy something again.
Around midnight. And you know that person wanted to call me. You don't remember the phone call? You don't remember the phone call? It was a pretty short phone conversation.
There we go, there we go.
I'll give you something for that phone.
So at the time, all I had was a phone number, so I said, who's his phone number? He said, I don't know, let's call him.
So Steve Lawson. Okay, who's Steve Lawson? He's somebody else's trouble. Hey Steve, hey, I've got some things going on next week. I'm gonna get you to help me.
When Steve Lawson picks up the phone,
All for me.
Miss Kathy, thank you very much. Hi, my friend. Kids Warriors, thank you.
he's supposed to say,
Sis Sally, thank you very much. Thank you po.
I appreciate you,
It's a magnet.
saying that, but hey, the other night you called me, really nice.
Oh, wait.
Do you remember what you asked me, what you, were after? I can't remember.
now, knowing who his brother is. knowing
Thank you
he's
po,
a
everybody.
police
Thank you so
officer,
much for
this
staying.
case just got
Does it come to you
way
now?
more complicated.
Okay, come here. I will make
This case is getting more and more complicated by the hour. And Brooks Houck is becoming the prime suspect, but there's still so many unanswered questions. So now detectives have to verify and refute the things that Brooks is saying. And one way to do that is by administering a polygraph test.
Investigators will sometimes use polygraph tests to kind of determine whether something somebody is telling them is accurate or misleading or a flat out lie. Brooks's polygraph test here was inconclusive. Sometimes investigators will deem an inconclusive polygraph test as evidence of lying in and of itself, or an attempt to manipulate the machine. So an inconclusive test sometimes can betray the person.
Meanwhile, this case is garnering national attention, and Brooks Houck is hounded by the media for an interview, but he only grants one to Nancy Grace.
Mr. Houck, thank you for being with us. When did you realize, Brooks Houck, that she was gone?
The very next morning.
So you slept through the whole night and did not realize that she was gone?
That's true. He saw my effort with the law enforcement agencies to gather all the facts necessary to allow me to have a clean name again. And that's very important to me.
The appearance on Nancy Grace was really interesting. Brooks, up to that point, had largely avoided local media. Almost every news organization was trying to get his side of the story and had been unsuccessful. However, he continued to live his life. He went about Bardstown, by most accounts, acting like nothing was wrong.
Detectives move on to another member of the Houck family, Nick Houck. This is Brooks' police officer brother. So investigators need to find out what he knows, particularly given the odd remark after Nick's sudden call interrupted his interview with Detective Snow.
How much interaction did you have with Crystal over the years?
Almost none.
So when was the last time that you had seen Crystal?
I'm sure it was sometime I seen her just driving around out on the road, but I don't know if that's where it was at or.
So you knew her, you or not know where the car was?
Oh, yeah.
We had enlisted the help of the civil police to help us gather a video and find potential witnesses. So now we have to rethink that because this person is potentially involved in this crime and he's employed at this agency. So we have to be very careful.
When did you find out Crystal was missing?
Within a couple of days.
How did you find out?
I don't know if Brooks had mentioned her, I saw on TV.
I mean, this is, for all intents and purposes, your sister-in-law, and she's missing. I mean, so you and your brother just not talk to that extent that
That's kind of bad, isn't it?
he would think if he was really, concerned that he would have my brother as a police officer, he knows what to do when he may call him and see what's going on.
Yes, they something like that. I see my brother, that's about it. Like, it's kind of like one parent, at this point, it doesn't matter what he does, he looks like a bad one, so.
Here's the problem. Days earlier, Nick called Brooks, telling him to leave his police interview, and now he's saying we're not that close. I'm sure these investigators are confused, and rightfully so. They're probably scratching their heads and saying, well, which is it? This conversation with Nick Houck opens up a whole different can of worms. They want to figure out, was he involved, and if so, to what extent?
Friday night the 3rd, I think, was the last time that anybody said they saw her, right? Where was that at,
That's why I said it was Walmart.
She goes missing on Friday night, Saturday's the 4th, Sunday's the 5th. Yeah. So that's when she gets reported missing. And he never called you for any advice on what to do.
He's so busy, we don't hang out much anymore.
Nick is an interesting character because he's both law enforcement and a potential co-conspirator. Police obviously wanted to zero in on whether he was influencing the investigation.
You remember when he was interviewed?
Oh, yeah.
Did you make a phone call thing when the SO was interviewing him?
Yes, I did.
What did you call that?
Just basically, folks are really cooperative down, obviously at this point, you want to be cooperative, but you also want to protect yourself.
Nick was also confronted by his own whereabouts and potential involvement in the case. he, like his brother Brooks, gave inconsistent answers.
So you all have, so you got out to the farm and you all go out there together to work, or do you, when was the last time I guess you and him were out there together? We were gonna meet each other out there. Did you go out there together? Did you meet him out there? No, you just had to be out there. You remember going out to the farm in July the 8th?
Celebrate special little moments with Red Ribbon $1.89.
I don't. That was incidentally the same night that your brother was interviewed by the police. You went the cameras would have caught your car following Brooks. Brooks around out to it. Was there times that you all went out there at the same time for a specific reason? No. You remember that night? No, I don't. What went on while you were out there for? Yeah, if I knew I did it, you were out together and you left together.
When he said that he either was or was not in certain locations at certain times, police were able to retrieve surveillance video of Nick being in certain areas like the farm. Those types of inconsistencies are problematic for Nick.
We took Nick's police car at the behest of the city police department, and ultimately I did a search warrant to have it processed.
What do you normally keep in your trunk? I'm gonna talk to a box out there. There's many forms, there's a PB3, fire extinguisher. With the you take your car from your house, what was in the trunk bed? All the stuff I just told you, but there was also just a regular blanket for moving. I got the blanket at the farm, I used it, and then I was looking back a few days, I forgot about it.
The one part of the car that we had any interest in forensically in the beginning was that blanket.
Have you ever heard of luminol? You know what luminol is used for? What? For other why would your trunk look like a Smurf if they sprayed it? There's no spots in your trunk and nothing like it. I mean, just look like your trunk. There shouldn't be anybody bottom that goes in the trunk. I mean, there's only one way bodily fluid is taken into the trunk. That's if a body's there. Is there any reason that 13 days was left in your trunk? I'm 100% certain it won't.
Ultimately, they said there was no evidence to be recovered from the blanket. Doesn't necessarily mean the blanket wasn't important. Doesn't necessarily mean that the blanket wasn't used for something. It just means that now there's no longer any evidentiary value.
Did your brother ever call you and say that he'd done something in prison? No, he did not. There is some reason why you all went out to that farm. See that? He does. I mean, there's no way that I would cover this up for him. Who else would be responsible for this? I don't have anything. What do you think? You know, I don't know that. Well, Brooks didn't have anything to do with it. So you never helped him move on him? I did not. And you're telling me you wanted to cooperate. That's why you're here, right? Yes. Okay. We're not taking apologize then. I've got nothing to hide.
Now, days later, Nick Houck is given a polygraph, and it sparks even more discussion about his alleged involvement.
Well, Nick, I've had some sort of in your guts on my test, that first test, and you have not had it. Clearly, it's one of the questions we have a problem with, there are questions about this. And in particular, the one about whether you want to shoot them. And at the time, it's counting you will or the rest of your life. This results on the test. Sexual inability, 100%.
And it's at that point that he got really defensive. Whereas we saw Brooks Houck in his interrogation being calm and almost nonchalant, Nick was the exact opposite.
And the monster was coming out to forensic evidence already. Things that you told us about where you were at various times were the monster, but not true.
Kuya Rick, thank you very much. Thank you po. Make a love shout out to everybody. Kids Warriors, my friend, thank you. Sis Risa, thank you. Sis Sally, thank you very much.
I would like to tell you the truth. I mean, you're talking crazy. The accusations you're making, ones that you really on it. Absolutely on it. I'm talking to someone who's a family member, essentially, who's raising possibly. You see some interviews. Well, yeah, I'm completely true. I've been 100% true. Listen what I'm saying. You listen to what I'm saying. I've been 100% true. Who you coming online or I'm not? I know the truth. And if you don't want to believe it, that's your issue. It's not mine. I show you. If I don't give a what you
was not happy about being questioned about him. Pretty much kept running around in circles. What we would ultimately get out of that is the polygrapher would tell us that he believed that Nick was involved and that they had disposed of Crystal's body.
It was enough for him to no longer have a job. He's
We had an administrative hearing concerning the employment status of Officer Nick Powell. The mayor's been considering the evidence earlier today. He issued a final order, and that order terminates Officer Powell from the Barstown Police Department.
In a case where you don't have a body and you don't have a murder weapon, you don't even really have a crime scene, I felt like we had a really good circumstantial case. In the Commonwealth of Kentucky, the Commonwealth attorney would make the determination typically as to whether or not you're going to charge this individual, especially in a case this big. I felt like we had a good enough circumstantial case to prosecute prior to my retirement. I think we were.
They weren't really able to charge Brooks or Lawson's, any of those people. There's no body, there's no DNA evidence anywhere, really. There's no evidence that there really a crime was committed at all.
This case comes to a standstill for months. There's little to no updates, no movement. And about a year after Crystal's disappearance, there is an incident that raises a lot of questions.
When Crystal disappeared, no one searched harder than her father, Tommy Ballard. November 19th, 2016 is a day in my career I will never forget. When we learned that there had been an incident in Bardstown, our hearts sank. Tommy Ballard was going hunting with his grandson. They were just getting out of the truck, and all of a sudden, a gunshot rang out. And that single shot went through Tommy Ballard's chest and killed him.
It is still, as far as I know, still a very open case and being actively worked by the detectives and detectives that we post. I think everyone believes that it's connected to Crystal's case.
Naturally, there was speculation that Crystal's father's murder could have been connected to her disappearance. Was he maybe onto something?
Through Tommy's efforts to try to find answers in Crystal's case, one of the things that he uncovered was a tip that proved to be really critical.
People would go to the Ballards with information. We got the tip early from Crystal's brother. He says, hey, these guys saw this white beauty parked in the woods next to the farm the night that she goes missing. We don't really know how it fits into things in the beginning. Tommy puts out a Facebook post, hey, we need to know about this white beauty, so it doesn't become urgent until we find out, kind of by happenstance actually, that it belongs to a family member of the house. What we will later figure out is that Anna Whiteside, who is their grandmother, owns a white beauty. Shortly after we find out about her owning a white beauty, Nick takes her to Louisville and gets really called. And I know the community really wanted us to hurry up and charge someone. Calling someone a suspect is one thing. Accusing someone of homicide is another thing.
Fast forward several years, 2018, 2019, the investigation is still ongoing, and Detective John Snow retires. And what comes next is nearly half a decade of silence. There is very little information that is publicly released as the FBI fully takes over.
The FBI did one search in 2021 that took several days. It was in a subdivision in Bardstown, and their focus was a home that was being built by Brooks Houck. The items they recovered from that property were women's underwear and women's clothing. There was some that was found under the driveway and some that was found under the sidewalk. However, the DNA did not match Crystal Rogers.
Here we are, years later, the FBI has the case in hand. Brooks Houck, his brother Nick, the Lawsons, they may be the prime suspects connected to the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, but none of them have faced any charges so far. But then you go to 2020, and investigators, with the help of another government agency, they made the discovery that no one saw coming.
Even the IRS came in to conduct searches if, for example, there were tax fraud issues. The FBI was looking obviously for other things to try to link the house to this crime. And by the time all of these years pass, the investigators have to start looking at a paper trail like that.
The IRS had different resources than the FBI. They had a legal equity to conduct searches on electronics under the auspice of investigating tax crimes, which leads to finding hidden recording devices.
All of them have been recording interactions with the police. They've been recording their conversations with each other. They've been recording conversations with their lawyer. It was just bizarre. When they would find those recorders during the search warrant of the farm, they were recordings of Nick in the grand jury, his mother, Rosemary Halkin, grand jury. Some of those random conversations would become pretty important because they revealed information that they probably didn't intend to. And on one of the recordings, Rosemary House says to Brooks, she says, "What about the blanket?" And he says, it's fine. Ultimately, what we would figure out is the blanket that she's talking about was the blanket in the trunk of Nick's car.
The FBI ends up conducting hundreds of new search warrants and interviews, retracing the steps of local law enforcement and creating new paths, but all following the same leads as laid out by Detective John Snow. They gather all the evidence collected by local law enforcement, combing through every inch of it extensively. They pull up all the stops, including using new tech tools. Google at the time had this reverse location technology which showed Brooks' whereabouts, despite the fact that he seemingly turned off his location services on his phone and also told his family to do the same. They had no idea that Google was still tracking.
Early on, investigators were interested in Steve Lawson largely because of that 13-second call, but they didn't have any crime or wrongdoing they could pin him for. But as time went on, they got more and more curious about why he made that call and just what his relationship was with Brooks Houck. And what they would ultimately learn over the years is that Steve Lawson and Joey Lawson had a really hard time keeping their mouth shut. Eventually, investigators would hear from one of Steve Lawson's ex-girlfriends who said she overheard a conversation between Steve and Joey talking about moving a body. When the FBI got involved, one of the things they revisited were phone records. They looked back into Brooks Houck's phone records, the records of Stephen Lawson, and the records of Joey Lawson. And what they ended up finding was that Joey Lawson made 2 calls to Steve Lawson on the night of Crystal's disappearance.
And also, this goes back to Steve Lawson, his phone pinged on towers near where Crystal's car was abandoned.
I'm not sure that we entirely understand their role. I don't know that we ever got the full story as to what they were involved. They were accused of being involved in the conspiracy to murder her, meaning that they did things and agreed to do things in furtherance of that murder. And specifically, they were involved with tampering with physical evidence by moving her vehicle. They were both involved in removing her vehicle from her residence and ending up on the Bluegrass Parkway.
And you know what's more incriminating? Stephen admitting that he picked up Joseph from the Bluegrass Parkway
Hi,
and
sis.
moved the driver's seat in Crystal's car to make it look like someone shorter had been driving.
Thanks, sis.
For giving the car a flat tire to stage the scene. Officials learned from another witness, a different employee of Brooks Houck, that Brooks said he wanted to, quote, get rid of Crystal, and that Joseph Lawson said, quote, that he would pull her teeth and the hogs would do the rest. Now, while the evidence doesn't seem like the strongest, admitting to all this implicates Brooks Houck and Joey and Stephen Lawson. It isn't until 8 years after Crystal's disappearance that anyone is criminally charged in connection with this case, and that's because of the efforts of federal agents to remove the Nelson County prosecutor who wouldn't move forward with charges in this case if there was no body. In late 2023, a series of grand juries are impaneled, and this is where Steve Lawson testifies about his involvement in Crystal's disappearance.
Stephen Lawson, ultimately, he would end up subpoenaed to the grand jury where I would confront him about the phone call. And he really kind of plays it off and tries to act like he doesn't know what phone call. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember talking to him about it without knowing that he really kind of gives away his involvement in it by trying to be cagey about the nature of the phone call.
And then there's a special grand jury that's assembled for the sole purpose of indicting Brooks Houck. In early September of that same year, Joseph Lawson is arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with evidence. Brooks Houck is then indicted for murder and tampering with evidence. He's held on a whopping $10 million bond. 3 months later, Stephen Lawson is charged with conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with evidence. But it is important to note that as of this recording, neither Nick Houck nor Rosemary Houck have been officially charged in connection to this case.
You're glad of it, but it's also scary because you know now this begins what is either the beginning or the end of this case, right? You know that one way or the other, this case is going to come to a resolution, and it may not be the way that you think that it should, which is obviously what the good is.
CDL Homestyle 40, juicy sarap, bibigyan lang naman. Right back.
A case 10 years in the making. It culminates with 3 men standing trial in the disappearance and presumed murder of Crystal Rogers. First, in May 2025, Stephen Lawson stands trial and is found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with evidence. But then, just a month later, comes the trial that so many people have been waiting for, that of Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson.
This is a sad case. Very sad. A young woman, 35 years old, with 5 children, disappeared. They didn't go out to remain get together. 12, 15, 12, 18, no. Brooks Houck was moving from the Houck farm to his home, but she went in that truck. She wasn't going home with him. Legally, the evidence show that God gave common sense. But she's died, and died at the hands of the Lord.
As long as this investigation took, and as complicated as this case was, it was very important for the jurors to understand what are the different roles of players here. Brooks Houck, his brother Nick Houck, and of course, Joey and Stephen Lawson.
Is there any conversation between Joseph Lawson and Steve Lawson as it relates to Crystal Rogers?
Yes. We heard Steve Lawson and Joey Lawson talking about moving the body at the Houck farm with a skid steer.
There was a lot of new information that came out during the trial. It was amazing to me to see how much investigators were able to keep close to chest. I think the most heartbreaking was that Crystal went into that evening thinking that she was going to have a kid-free romantic date night with Brooks. This is a woman who felt like her relationship was failing, and this date night that was promised to her felt like a glimmer of hope. Prosecutors say that it was all part of his plot to lure her to his family farm.
The whole time that I lived there, I never seen Rosemary or Nick at the house.
And that week Crystal went missing, and you see Nick at the defendant's house.
You know, and Rosemary, I seen them there a lot. There was one day that I witnessed Rosemary's car pull in the driveway. After that, the cop car pulled in, and they turned the cars around. Nick got in the back of the cop car, grabbed 2 bags, put them in Rosemary's car, and then he went back and got 2 more.
The neighbor, who's very nosy, thankfully, tells us that Rosemary and Nick almost never come to Brooks's house because Rosemary did not get along with Crystal. We got information that Rosemary had gone to the house just a couple of days into this thing, and she had pulled up and thrown away some flowers that Crystal had planted.
Did you see anything else with Rosemary?
I can remember one day when I looked across the street, I seen Rosemary with the shovel digging up the flowers and throwing them over in the trash can.
You know, the first thing that comes to my mind is if you think she's coming home, why are you pulling flowers up at her house? You don't think that's going to be upsetting to her? You don't think that's going to further hurt that relationship? She knows daggone good well Crystal ain't coming back. How does she know?
So do you remember the weekend of July 4th?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember any conversation you had about Joey about Chris's car that we considered a very little since we were moving to. What about Steve? Steve can agree with since that Brooks and Reed was LA.
Now, this is when that white Buick that's owned by the grandmother of Brooks and Nick Howard, that comes back into the picture. Why? Because it is believed that that could have been used to transport Crystal's remains.
Now, were you aware of anything collected out of there? I am. Was there a hair located? Yes, sir, there was. The head hair with Caucasian characteristics in male 26, that would be the hair that was located in the vehicle. Microscopically compared with the head hair standard collected from Crystal Rogers' hairbrush, and determined to be similar in color and limited microscopic characteristics. Was different from the head hair standard in 1963, which was any light size. Now, after the seizure of the vehicle and after it was processed, did you arrange for a cadaver? Yes, sir.
A detective by the name of Jamie Brooks would be working off duty in Louisville and accidentally meet a guy who has a cadaver dog. This man would agree to come and take the cadaver dog and run it around the white Buick. And the cadaver dog indicates on the trunk of the white Buick. We find a couple of hairs in it. They don't produce any real DNA, but we're able to use those during the trial to kind of build that case.
I was presented with a relatively small parking lot. We got onto the parking lot and asked me to search that area. Ranger cleared the area of any live victims. Ranger gave his trained final response after the right rear corner of that Buick LeSabre, sitting very close to that Buick LeSabre, telling me that's where he had the strongest scent of human remains.
Not only did the evidence stack up against Brooks Howard forensically, the court documents suggest there was a motive here, that he allegedly had an affair just a month before Crystal disappeared. But the defense, they focus on discrediting the state's witnesses, criticizing the police investigation, and saying that law enforcement focused so narrowly on Brooks Howard that they may have ignored other leads.
We certainly agree with Councilor Samsky on doing important thing. And this is absolutely the heartbreaking case. From the early hours of this investigation, Brooks Howard became the sole focus of this pressure, eventually caused the facts and truths that we look for in the justice system to be replaced with suspicions, assumptions, guesses, and theories. And it caused ultimately, in this case, these two men, Brooks Howard and Joey Lawson, specifically performing today, charged with horrific crimes that they would draw assuming that she was deceived. But there was no evidence of any kind of any cause or mechanism of her death.
A circumstantial case like that, still don't have a body, still don't have any other real hard evidence that anyone was even killed, let alone who did it.
There was testimony earlier that the dog involved in this case was cross-trained. Can you please explain to the jury what that means?
A cross-trained dog, for this instance, is a dog trained for a live scent, live humans, as well as human detection.
Do you personally, sir, recommend cross-training the cross-certification payment?
No, sir.
In this case, we hired you to look at police searches and laboratory reports, correct?
That's correct.
Did they find, based on your review of the evidence that was collected, was any of Joey Lawson's fingerprints found in the car?
Not that I can find.
Or was there any DNA of Joey Lawson's fingerprints found?
Not that I can find.
What about Steve Lawson? Same?
The same, yes.
There was one hair on the driver's seat that could have been tested for DNA, and one on the driver's side footwell, is that correct?
Correct.
Were those tested?
They were not.
Should they have tested those?
Yes, they should have been.
Was there any DNA of Crystal Rodriguez formerly in a white-sized white Buick?
There was not.
The defense team They try to say that Joey and Steve Lawson were never on the Bluegrass Parkway. They said that the cell phone records that they had actually showed that they could have been on a road that ran parallel with the Bluegrass Parkway.
Following 10 days of testimony and more than 50 witnesses, clearly, the jury has their work cut out for them.
Early on, I got a pretty good feeling about it. You don't know what 12 individual people are going to do when they get behind closed doors and start talking. But I was very confident in the case that Mr. Young and his team laid out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, it's my understanding that you all have reached this verdict.
But it took less than 4 hours for the 12-member jury to come back with a decision.
In regard to Commonwealth versus Brooks William Howe, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of tampering with physical evidence. In regard to Joseph Lawson, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of tampering with physical evidence.
The case is clearly a circumstantial case. There was no body found or recovered. There was no witness to the actual event. But that being said, the evidence against Brooks, including the motive for him to kill Crystal, the fact that he was already having an affair, the fact that Crystal was looking to leave, all of the things that always make the boyfriend or the husband the prime suspect, all of those ingredients were there with Brooks.
If you saw the news footage of it, I cried like a baby. I don't even know how to describe it. It was very emotional when you get that result at the end of it. Especially in a case when you, quite frankly, had your doubts as to whether it would ever go to trial. You know, it's almost too much to bear.
So at this time, it's the sentence of the court in regard to Mr. Lawson's case that he be confined in a penal institution, therein to remain for a period of 20 years. It's above the order of this court that he be sentenced to 5 years for complicity with tampering with physical evidence, for a total sentence of 25 years. In regard to Mr. Hunt's case, it's the sentence of the court that he be confined in a penal institution, therein to remain for a period of life, and 5 years for complicity with tampering with physical evidence, with those sentences running concurrently for life.
You never cared about anybody but yourself. You say you love Eli so much, but if you really loved him, you wouldn't have murdered his mother. She was an amazing mother. My mom didn't deserve any of this. When you thought you had planned the perfect murder, I guess you're not as smart as you think you are. For 10 years, I have suffered the pain of losing my daughter. Never once have I seen you shed one tear.
This case is one that changed Bardstown forever, and the community became incredibly invested in it. And I think a lot of that had to do with Sherry and Tommy Ballard. Everyone could look at them and see themselves as a parent, a sister, a brother, a loved one, and they felt their pain.
I pray that one day you will grow a heart and have the decency to tell me where my daughter is. And now you must spend the rest of your miserable life in prison where you belong.
Brooks Howe is sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. He's already appealed his sentence. Meanwhile, Joseph Lawson was given 25 years in prison, and Stephen Lawson has spent 17 years behind bars. But the most heartbreaking part, the most tragic part of the story is that Crystal's family will never get full closure. Crystal's body has still not been found, and that remains the biggest mystery in this whole case.
This is a case that had gone on for more than 10 years by the time that it got into a courtroom. And I think there are a lot of people in the community who worry that day would never come. Although there is some relief from the conviction and sentencing of Brooks Howe, Joseph Lawson, and Stephen Lawson, a lot of people would like to see investigators take this case further. The prosecution during the trial referred to Nick Houck and Rosemary Houck as unindicted co-conspirators. A lot of people wonder what's next. And then there's also the question of, what about Tommy Ballard? What happened to him? Will anyone ever be charged with his murder?
I think that the community as a whole is healing from it since the convictions. I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions which may or may not ever get answered. And that's hard to face. We may never know.
just like,
I can't.
I would too.
Put yourself.
I would too.
Put yourself in my
I'm just arrest me. Just arrest me.
Meet Janet Taberski, a 45-year-old single mother from Lakewood, Ohio. Right now, Janet has just realized that she will spend the rest of her life in prison because she murdered her 26-year-old daughter, Rochelle Shelley Taberski.
What is your emergency? Looks like a dead body laying here. Looks like a woman. I'm at the end of Victory Lane in North Bristol.
On March 15th, 2015, police arrived at Victory Lane and discovered the body of a young woman, partially clothed, beaten, and left in a field like discarded trash. She had been suffocated to death and struck repeatedly in the head. Her body was wrapped in a sheet, staged to look like a sexual assault, like a stranger attack. But there was a problem. Nobody knew who she was. Her fingerprints weren't in the system. She had no ID. No missing persons report matched her description. So police took a rare step. They released a photo of her face to the public, hoping someone might recognize her. And then, the call came.
I just saw a picture of my daughter. And I haven't seen her since Thursday night.
Okay, what's your first name?
Janet,
Okay, your last name?
Hyberski. Oh my God.
Okay, it's okay.
Right here.
What's your daughter's first name?
Rochelle.
It was Janet Taberski. Calling to identify the body, she had dumped there herself. But what Janet didn't tell police was what really happened 2 nights earlier. On the night of March 12th, in a quiet home on Nicholson Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio, 26-year-old Shelley Taberski went to bed, not knowing it would be the last time. In the early hours of March 13th, Janet crept into Shelley's bedroom while she slept. She placed a pillow over her daughter's face and began to suffocate her. Shelley woke up, fighting desperately for her life. The 2 women fell to the floor, and as Shelley struggled, Janet grabbed her head and smashed it repeatedly into the wooden floor. Janet kept Shelley's body hidden in the house for 2 days, all while Shelley's 4-year-old son Bennett played just rooms away. Then, Janet called her other daughter, 19-year-old Hannah, and forced the college student to help move her sister's body. Together, they drove to Victory Lane, dumped Shelley in that field, staging it to look like a stranger had killed her. Janet thought she'd gotten away with it. She thought by calling in to identify the body, she'd look like a grieving mother instead of a killer. She was wrong. Detectives brought Janet in for questioning. She walked in, calm and composed, ready to play the grieving mother. She told them Shelley had left that night to meet her boyfriend, that Shelley was violent, unstable, out of control. But detectives weren't buying it. They had already searched Janet's house and found what she thought she'd hidden. A missing sheet from Shelley's bed, a missing pillow, and blood in Janet's car. What Janet didn't know was that surveillance cameras had captured her vehicle driving to Victory Lane at the exact time Shelley's body was dumped. The detectives didn't just suspect Janet, they knew. And now, over the next 2 hours, they were going to dismantle every lie she had carefully constructed. This is that interrogation.
One of the things we did is we pulled of any police department, any reports and stuff like that, we pulled to see, what we used. We was called a profile. We tried to profile
Sure.
and get a history and everything that she put. And I saw that there were several feelings, especially like
Oh, yeah. Most of them, I think all of them.
well, did she call the police like back in the fall or last year? Something about you ended up in the house or something like that. Is that something that you remember?
I left the house.
Yes, you called and then I guess you guys got in an argument or some kind of argument. And
then she called back and said, oh, never mind, I'm not running, or something. He would, she
Oh.
called the police on that.
Oh, I bet you, well, here's the piece that comes to mind, is that it's when she attacked me
Okay.
when I worked. This is what it may have been, is when I worked as a teacher's an educational aide over at Ames for 5 years. There was a time when I come home at lunchtime, and after the morning thing, I was going to fill in for a teacher, be a substitute for the afternoon, but she ended up, for whatever reason, attacking me, pulling my hair and locked me out of the house. So I applied to call the teacher, Chris Chomsky, to tell her, I'm so sorry, I'll be there filling for you, because Bennett's in the house with Michelle right now. She locked me out of the house and attacked me. So I think that might have been, but I didn't make any phone calls, so I
So you never
think she
called?
may have called. No, I just, I
Because what
didn't.
happened is like when she called back and basically said disregard, you said her to calm down.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay, so I think that's,
No, that could have been it. That's the piece that you're saying is in the fall of a year or two ago.
Notice Janet's demeanor as the interrogation begins. She's calm, conversational, even friendly. This is unusual behavior for someone whose daughter was just found murdered 2 days ago. Genuine grief typically manifests as withdrawal, difficulty speaking, or emotional volatility. Janet displays none of these. Instead, she's articulate and eager to talk. She's building a character assassination before detectives have even asked for it. A grieving mother wants to talk about justice. Janet wants to talk about why Shelley was a problem.
I'm not sure. But I had it first. There's a lot of,
No, because I didn't want to be 14. And I've been there.
and there's a lot of, I guess, there were some people that she hung around with that were me off the one time and they get apart. They're still, he was guitar,
Megan's.
Megan's,
Yeah.
David Bushman's, and all that stuff. That was so, Shelley had come around with.
At the time, one of the lovers at that time. And there's always been lovers.
And so, were there any other incidents recently that, even though the police were involved, that I know you were telling me before about, the sheriffs.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened? I know you didn't have a lot of time.
Well, I think what happened is she fell through it. It was starting to go. She was
She was
praying,
sitting.
just, yeah. But it was not a good day. Up in the meadows, just not a piece. That she was playing the Thomas matching game at the table with Bennett. She started to fall through it, but it stopped. She didn't fall. And she freed you. Through the chair, knocked his workbench, broke the chair, and threw what's left of the chair onto the lawn. And I started crying through it all because his workbench was down.
Yeah. Was that common? Was that common?
Since she started going, no, not the throwing of things, and not too much in front of Benny. She would do different things. She would be erratic and a little violent with me at times, not like coffee hour at meetings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold on there. Do that cool. Just was ready to just bring that down one day. She, go upstairs, rip that off the edges, the whole thing.
How did she do that?
She did that.
Her shoulder or?
I don't know. I wasn't home. I wasn't home at the time.
I've never heard you go out.
I know. Some of it was good. But
You got these force.
she was strong. But
So what day was that? You said it was not a good day.
that whole week was
Okay. So that was when she had come back
from
from.
Tommy's that prior.
Okay.
I picked her up that Tuesday morning. She missed the dose of the medication. And she stayed probably 2 days long.
Of the circle.
Yeah.
800 milligrams.
And so that Thursday was what we chair fellows? 8:30. What time was it? That third day?
I'd say it was probably early evening, before dinner, probably around 4, 5, 4, 5.
Okay.
Betty cried, she's at the table, I said, Betty, it's okay, hon, just relax, it's okay. She got her phone on and walked out, and I was sitting her black and mild.
Black and mild. So
She
she's
just smoked my so
did she have any tattoos when she tattoos or yeah?
I think she tried it once or twice and not even with one.
Oh,
No, I think, but she's still smoking. Just, I think so, yeah. I think she was trying, yeah, I guess so. So then she, so, what was that?
you said that was
Oh, so she was
that was Thursday night?
Yeah, that was Thursday evening. So, you know, just come
Sir,
up,
thank you.
calm Betty down, breathe,
Good
when she's out,
morning.
have
It's
her
so
smoke.
early in the morning.
Let her be, de-escalate. She came back, and it's her work, got kind of brain, you know.
So that, I mean, you're used to that, you know how.
My mother was this way,
Your mother was
like this,
like Michelle.
yes, but I was raised primarily with grandma, and my grandpa. I don't, that's my whole point, this, I majored in psychology, I tried to work, I got it. Was in social work for a while. Yeah, but right now Betty's senior. Right now Betty's senior.
So you're trying to break the cycle.
I told the officers, we know what we've been through. When Detective West came back the second time, I let him go to the house, both men went home. He said, how are your sisters? I said, honestly, we'll try to make money, you know, money's here, no. But Bennett is better off.
Bennett is better off? Let's talk about what Janet really means with that. Throughout this interrogation, Janet paints Shelley as a terrible mother. Violent, unstable, dangerous. But the truth? Shelley loved her son more than anything in this world. Friends describe her as a devoted mother who, despite struggling with bipolar disorder, did everything she could for Bennett. So why does Janet keep saying Bennett is better off without his mother? Because Janet needed Shelley dead for two reasons: the life insurance money and custody of Bennett. If Shelley took Bennett and left, Janet would lose control. Control of her grandson, control of the insurance payout, control of everything. So when Janet says Bennett is better off, what she really means is, I'm better off. But detectives aren't buying Janet's act. They know exactly what she is.
So when we talk about the cycle, if there's anything positive that's come out of this, that's it.
Remember I told you we were gonna go through the computer, the phones.
Thank you, sir.
Try to form time. Okay. We have reason to believe that Shelley never left the house.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that's something.
Okay.
We know that's something.
Okay.
Well, that's.
This is the first major turning point. The detective says they believe Shelley never left the house, contradicting Janet's entire story. Watch Janet's reaction. She says, okay, 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 3 times. This is a self-soothing verbal tick, buying time while processing the threat. She's not asking, what do you mean? Or, how do you know? She's just accepting it. Then she asks, what do you think happened? Because she needs to know what story to counter with. The detective has landed the first blow, and Janet's response tells him everything. She's guilty, and she knows they're onto her.
You know, if you watch CSI, it's not we. I mean, we
everything possible, you know, and we try to, and we try to check out what people tell us and stuff like that. And, you know, and it's part of that. It's, you know, we go video, you know, there's houses and stuff like that, you know, there's activities and stuff like that, businesses, I mean, this, yeah. We have customers.
Why is it Sally?
You have, no doubt.
Thank you.
We've come to the conclusion that something happened at the house.
Do you have,
And that's why,
do you have
that's why,
evidence box?
well, and that's why I want to talk. You know, I mean, like I said, they've come to understand, is that we do a history, and I told you, a profile is what it is.
Well, I know, probably the suspect number one.
Well,
I
like I
know.
said, well, and like I said, when you tell me, you said, we want to do what's best for you. And then I understand, and I can see that little boy hurts you, you know, you are, and, you know, when you see him get hurt, that hurts you. Doesn't it?
Oh, of course.
You know, when you see him hurt.
Well, hurt his mom too, because she didn't realize what she's doing, which is not rational.
Right. And that's the thing like that too, is that a lot of times showing.
I'm not showing up.
No, but I understand.
It has not been easy for her, but I didn't do it to her. I emphatically denied, this has nothing to do with Shepard.
Well, I understand that, but I also understand too, that this was not, what happened to Shelley was not a calculated, you know, what we say, a premeditated homicide. You know, what we know, and like I said, this is basically evidence, what we know is that this, whatever happened to Shelley, this was done either in anger, fit of rage, passion, what they call crime passion, whether it's love, hate, anger, and stuff. So we know what happened to her, where she was placed, you know, after she died. It was not done by somebody who was cold, calculating, you know, knew what they were doing. What the evidence tells us is that what happened to Shelley was, one, at the house. There was something at the house that happened that she didn't do that. Number two, that it had to be someone that was close to her than you were. Okay, this wasn't a stranger that she met, because we pulled the internet history, we pulled the website, we pulled all that stuff. And she was not anybody.
But what if it was planned prior to? What if she put it early when she was on the phone with her?
Who?
Rochelle.
Well, like I said, we would have gotten that.
What evidence are you able to share with me? You're saying you have evidence.
Well,
What is that evidence? That's what I've come to hear.
the evidence is that, you know, something happened at the house.
Then you can tell me concrete.
Well, like I said, I can't.
Your hunches.
No, it's not much. I get it. Listen, I know your mother. I have a daughter. I have two daughters. Okay, and you know, I wouldn't bring a mother in here that's just lost a daughter and tell them on a hunch that you think something happened in the house. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't want to put you through through the grief. You know, but like I said, unfortunately, we try to clear people. We try to, you know, and
Well, that's what the search warrant to do.
correct, and that's what we, you know,
Again,
that's.
There's full access.
I understand.
Look, I haven't even touched it.
I appreciate it. But like I said, Janet, the problem is that we can't prove what you told us as far as who you found.
You can't prove it. That doesn't mean I killed her in my house.
Well, like I said, I
don't know how that went down.
Well, the problem is too, you know, when I first talked to you, you never asked me when.
I got it from the news.
Because the news doesn't give you the says that she was found. you know?
No, they said, I got everything from the news.
They said,
That all that I knew you were just starting. You would think, how would you know that? How would they didn't report any of that on the news?
I understand that, but listen, I'm not talking like that, like
I know you're, I'm waiting to hear what happened. I'm waiting to hear what number one you found so far.
Well, the issue is,
But I don't
she
know
didn't
how.
leave the house. You know she didn't leave the house because she didn't take her purse. She didn't take her medicine. If she
It's
did,
on the key of the first there.
well, I'm just telling you, I don't know why. And that's why I said this wasn't a pre-calculated, you know what I mean? Like you didn't read all these books on how to get rid of a body and all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that people, listen, I've been doing this job for 22 years.
You don't even have some of it, where her body
Listen,
was sound.
listen. I've been doing this job for 22 years. And I've seen.
I know you know what you do.
And I've seen a lot of good people make mistakes. I've seen a lot of good mothers make mistakes. I've seen a lot of good fathers make mistakes that are completely aberration to what they are and who they are. Now, I know you are a caring person. You are a caretaker. Am I correct? When it comes to Bennett. I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
you're the caretaker. You're the person that keeps, you're the glue. You're the glue of the family.
Pretty much.
You've been the glue in Shelly's life ever since your father passed.
Since she was born. And since her mom was. Right.
And I know you've had to deal with her lying and her manipulating and her impulsivism and her basically caring about Shelly and not caring about Bennett or caring about Jan or Hannah or Megan. And I know
You're saying this is not untrue.
nothing is right.
That's all true.
And listen, like I said, I've seen strong people who've been the glue of a family, and usually it is mom. Mom, dad's abusive or dad's wrong, but this time it's the daughter, basically holds the family hostage, and I see, mom is just, finally say, you know what, enough is enough.
Oh, I'm sure.
Enough is enough. We've been through this.
It wasn't like that for me.
Well, and then I understand there was some discussion about getting custody then. But
That was part of the reason. That things were all thinking.
and she told you what?
No.
She was dead sick.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, she planning on trying to live with Tommy.
I think that might have been in the works because he had some money from a dead person that he had money from. But she knew. No, I don't think for sure she was gonna move it, and she knew she couldn't take them. She knew that, and not with Tom.
But who has custody?
Well, it's never been taken from her. Right? I've never taken it.
So if she wanted to, she could have.
Oh, sure, legally, sure. Of course, but then I think she wouldn't, she wouldn't want that responsibility 24/7.
No.
Yeah.
And neither did Tommy.
No.
Tommy didn't want to be bothered.
Oh my God.
I mean, what he spent maybe a couple hours with, if that,
If that,
how many years did he go without even seeing him?
yeah, full forward.
So, when you tell me, like I said, I know you've been walking, I know you've been up front.
Let's just cut to the chase here. Dear God, do I need, I think I need to turn in. If you're saying I killed Michelle.
I never said you killed Michelle.
Okay, you're saying it
But I'm trying to
happened in the
figure
home.
out, I'm trying to figure out what happened.
The only one who's gonna
Because-
be in that, I guarantee it didn't do.
Right. But what I'm telling you, and Janet, is what I want to know is, I know there's something in the house. I know that there was something there.
Okay.
And
Sir Alain, sige na sir, matulog ka na sir. Thank you very
I'm
much.
trying to figure out what. You know?
Have a good night. Actually, good morning na. 30 minutes na lang naman ako sir. Thank you.
Gone through inbox and Facebook and text, anything.
Well, you know that it sounds like we know what we haven't found. What have you found?
And like I said, I can't disclose that.
You know?
But the thing is, let me ask you this. When you packed up her purse and her makeup kit, her coat, what was the purpose of that?
I thought I heard her say, you know, half asleep, all the time, this is what I got my
When?
I thought I heard her say that, I don't know. So then I saw all this that night.
Night shift.
Right. So, but, because when I came down, I locked the door, I saw the next morning in the kitchen, all her stuff. London, Island, where she keeps it. Jesus Christ, you know, so I packed it in that bag. And then they'd be back the next day. Well, she'd call me and take it over to. But see, she keeps makeup there, she keeps clothes there, she keeps meds there. So I didn't.
Research on this. There was nothing, there was a couple pieces of clothing, but none of the clothing was there.
Well,
Listen, again, I just. We want to.
Jesus Christ, so am I. I do too. I have no idea what happened to Rochelle.
Let me ask you this. Was there a physical altercation between the two of you?
Just the usual verbal. No,
Because
no. I want to see what I find.
according, let me ask, I'll tell you this, right? According to the report,
Okay,
right, she was involved in physical altercation.
right, with one force
Okay.
to the
But
back.
it was not enough. Okay.
Right, that's what I heard. With one force thrown to the head.
And the issue we have is that you're telling me that there's a big blow, that she accused you. Is this right? She accused you of watching this.
That was, I think,
Husband had sexually abused her.
no, that was her Tom. Tom had told me this.
Okay.
That she had told her friend this. And I said, Jesus Christ, this one again. I've heard this before, Tommy. It's not true. I know she's doing this.
Well, I know, remember I told you, we tried to build a profile, and we know that she's known the storyteller. We know she's, prone to being impulsive. We know she's prone to being angry. Obviously she's attacking.
Yeah.
But like I said, we know that there was something that happened at the, something that happened at the house. More than what you want to try to point, more than what you want to tell me. More than just a report.
Okay.
Janet, I'm just telling.
But I want to see what the evidence
I
shows.
just know for a fact. Now I know you know. What I want to know is why and what happened. I can almost guess why. I know why.
See,
It's
here's the
because
thing.
she's.
See, you're saying I did something. This is what you need to, so right now, I'm ready to, you have to, I cannot talk anymore. Because you're trying, you save a lot of time here. You're saying that you're leading to say I did this.
If you didn't do anything, why would you guys vote?
Because, no, I'm telling you, I don't know anything. I would assume that.
We're not gonna put an innocent person in jail. You know that.
No, I'm not. Because I'm going for big person of interest.
Why would you be
Suspect.
president? And why would that
He told me that.
Who told you that?
Detective West.
Who told you you were a person of interest?
Yeah.
And you were the number one suspect?
No, he didn't say suspect. He said, Detective West and Captain. Captain.
Okay.
When I went for Weston, I said, do I need an attorney? because you said you want to
See, I didn't sit, right, I didn't sit through that, I was.
right? And so-
Kapatid, thank you.
So I've been telling people, I'm a person of interest, Jesus Christ. I've known I'm a person of interest this whole time. I'm the last, and I said, why? You're the last known person to have seen her.
Maybe you should. I mean, when they show somebody gets killed, they have white kids go to the hospital, look at the hospital.
Of course, they look at the family first.
So I mean, it's a natural assumption.
Right.
And just like you said, you want to see the evidence, and so
I wanna see what,
right. But you realize too, is that, that all the information, they're going to be evidence now.
of course.
And you'll become aware of evidence, and we do too.
Okay.
So it's a matter of, like, you take the same, but, it's gonna be found. And always when, just like you said, that you didn't claim out anything.
No.
You know, it's gonna show that too as well. You can never get rid of anything completely, especially with the chemicals that they unifying evidence.
Sure.
We watch the shows or resolution. So you realize that these are things we're gonna come to you with. But it's probably a good idea to talk this out and maybe give us more information. How loves to learn with Shelley and how loves to learn.
I'll love them beyond what the only person would.
And we appreciate that, believe me, we appreciate you.
Everything, I'm not sugarcoating.
Right, and you are, you're very matter of fact, and I enjoy it right now. And I appreciate it.
But now you're saying you know something happened in the house.
I think we're trying to figure
I
out.
don't know there, so I'm
Just trying to figure out what,
for sure.
we have one, we know, I mean, we know all the, I mean, listen, I don't understand, I mean, if she's an adult, you could very well say, fine, see you. You could have very well said that, you know? 8 years ago, she turned 8.
Which I did.
Yeah.
And she was with them, stands up in Birdtown.
Okay. I mean, maybe back then, but she came back,
Right.
you know, at 26 years old, and she's no longer a responsibility. I don't, I don't, honestly. I mean, a lot of people say, well, she's, you know, Shelley was a passionate person, but she had issues, you know? And for you to continue to take care of her and to be there and to be that, you know, I, like I said, I don't understand. There's no way I can do it. I see too much, I see too much stuff, you know, and my own kids, you know, I've got a teenage daughter, and, yeah, I'm learning out, you know, the hard way. But fortunately, you know, I don't have the issues that I had, you know, with no health issues. Yes, just having a normal teenage daughter is a lot of hard work. But I can't imagine if that carried over through the teenage years to adult years, and, you know, to still be, I say there, you know, I mean, do you feel like an obligation to continue?
I love her. I love her. Always have. It's my girl. It's my show.
Obviously.
So you do what you do.
But do you think people hurt each other when they love each other?
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
I mean, they tell us, but most homicides are committed, like, probably 90% are committed by people that know each other or are in a relationship.
Right.
You know? And so, obviously, you know, we look at a homicide, you know, a death of somebody, you know, we try also to check every incident. We look at, you know, the truck drivers that were going through the water, you know, we look at dating websites, we look at everything, you know, to see if there are strange.
Right. You said that there's that plenty of fish.
There's plenty of
Did you
fish.
did you find stuff?
No, not since last year, you know, not since last year. But the thing is, like I said, there was no, for the last couple of weeks, there was no arrangements made for Shelley to get up on Friday.
Did you check that Eric Bolton and what happened?
Yeah.
The next week?
Well, we're still trying to figure out, you know,
I
where
think
he's at.
it's, I know, I think it's his family behind the house.
Well, you know, he's moved back and forth. I mean, listen, we know.
Okay, you're checking this out, you're checking everything.
Yeah, right, told you. Yeah, we wouldn't, and, you know, immediately, I didn't come in your house and say, well, Janet, you know, it's suspicious that you have all this stuff that goes in garbage bag.
I wouldn't
You
give
know,
it to you.
well, I'm just saying, it's, you know, well, listen, also, this John Long, I was to know too, that people tend to cooperate too, when they're suspect.
Oh,
You know what I mean? They
I
tend to
want to
cooperate.
find out who did it.
But the thing is,
So I'm cooperative.
well, like I said, you know, we check every aspect, every angle. I'm telling you, I probably have video from here to Lakewood to Cleveland to North Ridgeville of highways, turnpikes, and all this stuff. Like I said, we scoured, you know. Like I said, when we first got to your house, you know, our job was just to try to build a time. Like I said, remember, we have where Shelley was found, and the evidence there, we have where Shelley was last seen, the evidence there. In between, there's a gap. There's a gap. And somebody knows more than what they're telling us. And what we do is we build from this way, and we build from this way, we try to put the pieces together. And like I said, when we build from the opposite, we go backwards, and we say, who was the last to see Shelley? Okay, there was some issues, and, you know, I understand, but that's, you know, what I'm telling you too is that, these guys, they check everything, you know, the lab, that's why I have these guys, you know, they're gonna check everything, and they'll tell us, they can tell us where a body lay for, you know, hours, if not a day. And that was everything too that we looked at. You know, the fact that someone did this thing, they did something, and they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. And that's usually why we say it's a crime of passion. And strangers don't do crime of passions. Strangers do cold, calculating, planned out homicides. If they were gonna plan, like say someone who was trying to get at you, and they would watch you, they would, you know, they would know you, they would know, you know, was it common for you to take this or that with you, and stuff like that. If they met you online, they would have a plan already, they were planning on murdering you or dumping you or something, they would have a plan on like, get shot over your head here, they, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. But when someone is placed in a location where she can easily be found or seen on the highway, to us it's almost like they do it to, you know, so she's found quickly, and that she's not participating, you know, what and that. You know, and that's what we have here. This is what we have here. And it's the fact that whoever did this to her was someone who cared about it, because they didn't just throw her in a shower for the dogs and coyotes to dig up. You know, they basically staged or placed her in a location where she would be found. And that's, you know, and that's another issue. We look at what was found under the clothing, the fibers, and anything that was left in the scene, and we, you know, we place that, you know, where a scene was, you know, where she was last day or kept, whatever.
That is
And we believe
the
that
piece
that's
of
why,
questions.
and that's
Even from my house.
right,
So,
where she was like,
no, she left the house.
we know for a fact, from what was found at the scene.
Can you tell me what his boundaries?
I think we need to stop. I think we need to go straight.
For his mother,
Yeah.
Detective Peter. I think you're great too. I don't want to waste your time here.
I think you're great too.
I'll sit
I do
here.
too. But I think we need to close this. We need to stop. Because I know you have a conscience. I know you're a good person. I know you are. I know you are. All of your actions, I'm not asking you to admit to something. But all your actions, all your history of who you are, show that you're a good person. That you are.
I feel like barely fit.
You are.
I will
But what I'm telling you, but Janet, listen, you two other girls are college students. I mean, they're great girls, you know. And Shelley, you know, she has some great attributes about her. But, so I'm telling you, it's not, you didn't do anything wrong raising her. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you're a bad parent, you know. Like I said, I commend you for even holding on this long and helping her this long and keep taking care of her this long. But when someone accuses you of doing something you didn't do, and especially when they accuse you of
Because I understand. I understand. I think I did. So I'm just listening. I understand you think I did this. So I need to just hear you and take whatever comes. But I'm not, I can tell you, maybe here for,
I'm not gonna, listen, I'm not gonna make up evidence, I'm not gonna accuse you of doing something. As law enforcement officers, we can lie. We can lie. That's, of course,
Sis Lisa, thank you. Thank you,
He's
sis.
in a profession, whoever, constantly, you can say, Janet, you have your vehicle on the in North Ridgeville on Saturday morning. You know, I can lie to you and say that. Right. You know, but I'm not gonna lie. I don't wanna lie. Because if you know, use another vehicle, then what do I look like? Like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay, so I only go with what I know. I don't make statements. I don't say, well, if you throw your fingerprints around that articles that are wanted to see. You know, I'm not gonna say that. Okay? Because what if you wear gloves? You know, so everything that I've told you is fact. I haven't made anything up. So when I tell you, well, I'm just telling you, when I tell you that there's something at the scene that places her in your house, I'm telling you the truth.
okay.
Okay?
And you can't tell me what that is. You can't tell me what that is.
No, I'm not gonna tell you exactly what it is because
Okay.
that's part of the case.
That's part of the case.
You know?
If she left. See, I don't know. So there's something, so you're telling me you have something for sure at the scene.
Janet, I wouldn't have you here. You know, I wouldn't have you here. And I wouldn't be lying.
Okay.
Okay? You gotta talk about it.
And if you say you have evidence that I did it, then I need to now.
You talk about your mother-in-law being, you know, religious and stuff like that. She probably wouldn't lie either, right?
My mother-in-law?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, we don't, like I said, I'm sure Detective Long here, you know.
So you say you have evidence
I'm telling you, it's the evidence that shows
that
that
I murdered him.
I never said that. I never said that. What I'm telling you is, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it flies like a duck, it's a duck.
Okay.
So when I tell you we have, we know for sure something happened in the house.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking
Then,
about.
right.
Well, maybe there's a couple of questions or something we'd like to share.
Please,
But
if you can't,
the thing is that, what I'm trying to say is that a lot of times things happen. for reasons you can't really explain. And you almost have like an out-of-body experience where you do something that you later regret. Okay? And then you can say, well, that really wasn't me. I'm not normally like that. Okay? Sure. Everybody makes mistakes. We all make mistakes. Okay? You know, it's what you do to make it right. It's not judge. Sure. Okay? If it's a continual, well, prove this, take a step, prove that, take a step. Eventually, the information is going to come out, the evidence. And before the evidence even comes, but what I'm saying is that before the evidence comes out, it might be able to get ahead of something. And again, I'm just saying that if you know something,
I have said everything I know.
wouldn't you want to share that with us so that we can help solve this crime? Okay?
I have said everything I know. Everything.
And like I said, we appreciate your candor. Okay, and you've been really honest with us. And I really appreciate that. You know, again, it's what we want you to do is to get out in front of this. If it was stolen, if it was an accident, then it's easily explained. Shelley was a very volatile girl. She was very volatile with you. We all know that. She did things to you that daughters shouldn't do to their mothers. It's not true. True. Things happen, and I know you've been angry at her many times in the past. A fight breaks out, she grabs hold of you, comes after you, maybe some slaps are exchanged, maybe she comes at you a little bit more violently, some words are exchanged, whatever the case.
I know that they go and she turned 18.
But in this case, let's just say, for instance, a fight breaks out at the house, and certain things might be used to help fend her off. Evidence of that will be cast off into the house. That's going to be stuff that's going to be found. And again, it's always better. I guess could maybe put a theory or maybe a story that you could understand is that, don't you think that it's better to be honest about something versus, well, tell me what you got and then I'll be honest about it.
Oh,
That's, right, you see what I'm saying? It's like,
I don't have it.
because, well, that, you know, let's just say that, okay, let's just say, but what if eventually you do find something in the house, and then here you are going, oh, if that's the case, I'm just saying, if that's the case, don't you think it would be better to be honest about something up front and say, look, I made a mistake, like we all did, versus, look, show me what you got, and then I'll be honest about it. Or show me what you...
That's not what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
No, I'm not trying to do the same. I'm being honest.
Well, I mean, you've heard
What
the
I tell
same.
you,
I know, Shelley,
it's okay.
you look like Shelley.
It's okay.
You know,
No.
Janet, you have to understand that a lot of times the cover up is worse than the cover up is a lot of times worse than you have a lot of leadership. Sure. And the more you walk,
I'm gonna be there
the bigger it
soon.
feels. But after a couple, you know,
9 minutes to go. Thank you, everybody.
Several hours. It almost feels like a boulder in your shoe. And then you take your shoe off, it's a sore cut. You know? And a lot of times, what I see is people think that they have to hold on to this. They have to, you know, protect, you know, shield the whole time. I got to shield, I got to protect myself. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't, you know what I mean? And they hang on to this. And when the truth comes out, a lot of times it makes it look like they were cowardly, that they were heartless, that they, you know, were just looking out for their best interests. You know what I mean? Do you understand what
I
I'm saying?
understand. I know you're trying to juice me right now, but you can say it a lot of times. Trying to juice me. I got nothing else. And I respect you and you, but I'm not gonna talk anymore because you're accusing me of killing Shelley. So I'm done. This can't go any more than it has, because I've got nothing else to tell you. And honestly, I know you'll find out who did this. I believe you will. I know the FBI is involved. You guys are great. I have no doubt you'll find out who did this. But I can't talk at that because my dear little Betty can't come home with me. I'm not gonna say another word. I'm not, Donna, I so block her.
I appreciate that. You know that you have to forgive.
Yeah, but I have to not say anything else because you're gonna keep juicing.
Juice.
I'm sorry, that's how I say.
What's that?
Trying to juice me for more. I say,
Squeeze you?
Squeezing me. I can't, there is no one that I know. I got nothing else.
Can I ask you questions about, maybe Shelley, like, her?
Of course. Anything that helps in the investigation.
Has she ever acted out with anyone else? Girls and all?
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. Yeah, they've been over the years.
And subject to,
Yeah. Subject.
like, you know, why?
Well, the guitar incident, they were hiding one time in the room from her, just a lot of yelling, and they've seen her acting out, was threatening.
She ever did that?
It's not good. Yeah, Anna, she had a fire hair,
How long was that?
probably, jeez. Oh, that was on Nicholson. So, 10 years ago. Yeah. That's my chance at service of breath and cough drop. It's coffee bitters. Yeah, please.
So, we talked about drug usage. What kind of, I know you mentioned marijuana before.
That I know for sure. Not at all. Borrow.
What else?
Lunches.
Okay. And how do you know this?
They, she would tell me.
She told me that she was the spice, you can do whatever you say.
Well, she said that these last 3 days, that the bad 3 days in her home, that he was, dipping into that with another guy who was in the progress.
Okay, so what about at the house? Did she ever use like needles?
No.
Did she ever use?
I would say no. Yes.
She did.
Once she was put down the first.
But
And
ever
that
since
just
then,
seems to,
but after that, she never mentioned anything about it.
I think she did it one time, leaving the Magnolia. She used to go over there in the Magnolia Clubhouse. She said she met someone to go see it. But I think that was it. And she
How long
she
was
was
that?
wrong. Oh, 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
What about, you ever heard of like a fentanyl or heroin?
I would say no. Not to my knowledge. No.
What was she wearing last time she left the house?
See, I didn't see her.
Last time you saw her, what was she wearing?
Well, she always sleeps in sweats over PJ bottoms, and she sleeps in a hoodie. So that makes me think, I didn't see her leave, but it makes me think that's what she was wearing when she left. This was quick, and then I just remember the shoes. I didn't know what shoes, but I saw the shoes that weren't there. With a white high top Skechers style shoes with pink plaid, but they're old. But they were not in the home. So I think that's what I think. See, I don't know, I didn't see her leave. But I would have heard her getting dresses. I think she was just out of bed. It was quick.
But you said you went down afterwards and shut the door.
Right, it occurred to me. It was probably for a while. I didn't see her at all. I thought I heard her. I think she pulled shot.
Has she ever been violent? Let me ask you,
I would say
regarding her point, regarding her point, you said she's gone too far. That's
Just,
sure as
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
in
And
access.
see, when I would work, I don't know what happened.
I'm
One
just
time-
saying you heard, that's what you guys.
One time she was doing a hairplane. This is what happened. One time she did an airplane with him on her feet,
Yeah.
and the whole window broke there in the bedroom.
Oh, like she fell off.
Right. Yeah. So that comes up. The
How long was that?
I mean, the cat got in the last minute. Charles, Benny, I think got it cut. I think I could be wrong. This is why I was my caregiving. This would have been, it's been September, October-ish.
Of this past year?
Yeah, of 14, yeah. So she, it was just that stuff, the bad thinking, stuff, irrational, it's just unsafe, and meeting people at playgrounds and stuff. When he's running around, and just connect with whoever, dress parties, and water, I mean, on certain accounts.
You know, she, friends, strangers,
Right,
because they look cool, you know what I mean?
right, so
So,
connect somehow.
very, very dangerous, very dangerous. And then you said, you told Detective West that you did take a life insurance policy on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we both, she was, you know, she and I, took it out almost 2 years ago. Well, cause I didn't have life insurance on there, I knew I was, I'm the one that got the flood, and I had that, Jesus Christ, I'm here, caregiver here. What if something happens to her, which it could very well do, because she's accident prone? And just careless and letter, and so I can just do this.
So you're together again, or?
It was one of those things that just caught me in the mail, to a quote life. So I'm like, Shelley, this is a good idea to have. Let's do this, for Benny,
So she never used drugs in the house, she never smoked?
No.
Pot or anything in the house?
No.
Any kind
No.
of-
No way.
Drugs straight in the house.
I would say no. No.
With Benny Hills.
One time when I took Anna to a volleyball, and she had a guy in it.
Hannah did?
No.
Oh, she got a
When
joke.
I took Annie down to Kentucky for a volleyball tournament, she had a guy in the house. I wasn't there.
Was that a village?
Right. Yeah. No. No, I didn't say no,
Was she pretty good about that with Benny? Like, not seeing Corey guys come into her life with Corey guys? Or no, didn't really,
See,
she had no
I
care about it.
came up on it, because I would always pick them up. So one time at Lakewood Park, there she is, playing, she was with something good. She just freaking had her decrease, you can see her crack, and her shirt was up. I don't think that, she was just kind of hanging on. This was probably last summer.
About hang on phone calls. Hang on phone calls at the house.
Hang on.
Did you need a landline in the house? Well, you guys shared a phone, right?
We shared a phone for the last 3 months, so she lost it.
Hang on calls to you?
Oh, God, I got all the credit cards. Those are my credit card phones. They look at my calls.
No, I'm saying like, some strange guys call the house and you answer the phone, click, or
Some
someone.
weird ones coming. There's some weird ones coming in, right? Where is it?
Hi!
It could have just been.
Thank you po everybody. Maraming salamat. Sis Lisa, thank you. Sis Sir Ali, thank you. Mag-end na po ako, thank you. Sis Kunyang, maraming salamat.